Hello and welcome back to Shutterdrives. We have with us one of the most advanced motorcycles ever introduced in the history of Indian automobiles in the form of this, the TVS X. What's good? What could be better? Let's find out in this review. The design of this scooter is very radical and dynamic, and this is something that's going to go with a lot of Gen Zs and millennials for sure without a second thought. As you can see, you have a very advanced design here, and TVS has ensured that this also attracts the Gen Z crowds, which is very important because this scooter has so much of tech that the people are going to love it. We're going to talk about it later. And then you have the sequential lighting here, which comes in various sequences. For now we have the first sequence here, which can be displayed later. And then you have the cornering lights here, which means that if the scooter is bending with a certain angle, then this light is going to light up. If the scooter is bending that side, this light is going to light up. You have the 12-inch tires, and TVS says that these are special tires. These are not just normal tires. These are here to improve resistance so that better efficiency is obtained, especially which is going to help a lot in optimizing maximum range from this particular scooter. Loads of buttons on the left and right side of the handlebar, and something that's very important is you have a protective cover here just in case to prevent the lever from breaking off in case the scooter falls off. Talking about the fall, the scooter also gets a fall and crash detection. In case the scooter ends up with a crash, you get a notification on your phone. How cool is this technology at its best? So I have the cruise control, which is going to be pretty helpful just in case to remove the extra fatigue when you want to drive this on not exactly highways but just outskirts or something. And another cool part is you have the 10.2-inch screen here, which can be tilted based on the user's convenience. This is something that we have seen for the first time, and when we saw this in a car like BYW, we went completely gaga over it. So one of the interesting things is you get an aluminum frame here, but what's further interesting is there's an offset monoshock. Now the biggest advantage here is this is going to help you in space optimization. For example, this space is something that would be generally unused, but having a monoshock here which is offset is going to help you in optimizing that particular space. And also you can see that there are a lot of weight distribution in the left end of the scooter, and that's why TVS has ensured that the monoshock is on the left and not on the right exactly. You have the split seat here, which also ensures that the rear passenger is going to be pretty comfortable, and split seat is generally used by people. Just long press this particular switch here and the front seat is actually going to open. And the storage space is very important in a scooter, and you can accommodate a proper full-sized helmet here. However, one thing to note that is the rear seat cannot be opened. So the battery is housed here. When we rode the scooter for quite some time, one small observation is this was slightly obstructing my knees. Especially this is going to be slightly concerning for taller people. But talking about the charging time, the 0 to 80% of the battery can be charged in 3.5 hours. The peak power produced is 11 kW and the top speed is 105 km per hour. We were able to go up to 103 km per hour, and the scooter felt quite stable. That's it. There are 3 different riding modes which we're going to talk about later. If there's one small concern with this scooter, that is the range. That is 140 km of range. And now this would be fine considering that scooter was priced sub 2 lakh rupees, but considering the aspirational pricing of the scooter, 140 km of range is something that could keep some buyers away from the TVS dealerships. Talking about the acceleration, which is one of the most renowned things in electric scooters or motorcycles, the 0 to 60 km per hour can be achieved in just 2.6 seconds in the sonic mode. The ground clearance of this scooter is 175 millimeters. Now, just to put into perspective, this is the highest ground clearance for any electric vehicle in terms of two-wheelers in India. Now, the seat height, which is going to be very important when you're talking about scooters in India, the seat height of this is 770 millimeters, which means that people of any height can easily and comfortably cruise in this scooter. We have spoken of a lot of good bits in this scooter, but if you have to address a couple of cons or issues, one of the thing is probably this is one of the first motorcycles or scooter launches we've seen in the longest time without any charging options directly here. In fact, we have some cubby holes which are missed, especially if you had a couple of not exactly bottle holders, but if there was a provision to store some papers or something, that would be very helpful. And another fact is this scooter is right now sold in Bangalore only. The rear design is very sleek. You get LED tail lamp with dual LED indicators, of course. Another small thing to note is you get the same 12-inch tires even at the rear. You get a proper disc brakes, and this is a chain-driven motor, which is slightly preferred in terms of EVs. Of course, belt and chain-driven both have their own pros and cons, but again, chain-driven is something that is slightly preferred. And TVS also claims that this is one of the most silent motors ever. However, we cannot complete the design chapter of this scooter without mentioning the rear footrest, which looks very nice. This is a proper 10.2-inch TFT display, and this deserves a separate video of its own. But in the interest of time, we're going to take you through a couple of interesting features here. Firstly, you have something called a screen wipe mode, which you've not seen anytime before, where the screen actually shuts down for 10, 20 or 30 seconds so that it's easy to clean the screen. Under sounds, you can disable a couple of interesting things like the park assist. If you find it quite irritating, which some people find, you can disable that sound. Talking about the connectivity options, you have a Bluetooth connectivity option which can be paired with your phone. Talking about vehicle settings, which is very interesting, you have 5 region options. In fact, the sequential light that we spoke of can be adjusted from here. The utility box or the trunk of the scooter can be opened directly from here. The same goes with the charging port. However, there's one feature which is very interesting, which is the hill hold control, which is going to be very helpful for people who are learning to ride the scooter. And this is the trip meter, which has various information stored in it. In case you get bored in signals, you don't have to worry at all, because you can scroll Instagram reels or watch YouTube videos. Not just that, you can also play single player or multiplayer games so that you don't get bored when the scooter is being charged or when you're at a signal. However, we recommend that you exercise utmost caution when doing so. The various built-in sound modes which can be directly played, and the sound is going to come from the inbuilt speaker here. Do note that this does not have dedicated speakers like we saw in the Ola scooter, but the speakers are inbuilt here. Another cool part is, apart from the basic navigation options, you do get to see what are the charging options en route. Not just that, you can share the live location of this particular scooter with your friend. In fact, if you look at the riding summary, this also tells you how much money you saved by opting for this electric scooter instead of a proper i-scooter. This is the top speed, this is various health diagnostics, and this is your driving score. Apart from that, you have various options like the range, the battery health, etc.
The riding position fell straight and upright. The TVS X gets 3 riding modes to choose from, and Sonic is where all the fun lies. Slot in this and the scooter goes berserk with it. The claimed acceleration to 60 km/h is just 2.6 seconds in this mode. The top speed is limited to 105 km/h, and we were easily able to stretch it to 103 km/h with no signs of nervousness. Just like other TVS scooters, the X handles really well. However, the test conditions were limited. The biggest letdown were the rear brakes. It's only when you combine both the brakes that the stopping power is effective.
Overall, in my opinion, I think this is a very bold move by TVS, and this has to be really appreciated, because this is something that nobody dreamt of, that TVS could launch such a scooter with amazing technology. This scooter ticks most of the boxes that an aspirational buyer would want, especially the Gen Z and the millennials, in terms of the features, in terms of the comfort, the riding mode, the speed and whatnot. However, that said, there are a couple of things that are sorely missed. Like we mentioned earlier, we do not have charging ports, or we do not have cubby holes, which are slightly more important. Also, one of the biggest factors which could kind of let the people away from this scooter is the pricing, which is going to cost around 3 lakh rupees on road Bangalore. If you like the video, do not forget to subscribe to the channel and follow us on Instagram. Take care and ride safe.